Yo, here we go again. It's another journey. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Doom, 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 doom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah. Been a long mission. Now, let's get to it. Jay Prince, the founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, businessman, manager of sports and boxing, and those favorite MCs in the world, including Jigga Jay-Z. Now, there have been a lot of misconceptions floating around in the world when it comes to dealing with Jay Prince. A lot of misconceptions. People getting things wrong about the man. Now, Jay Prince is not a phony person. It's not his nature to be phony. So if Jay Prince says something, he means something. He's all about integrity. That's his entire goal in life. That is his standard. That is how he moves. That's how he goes about his everyday life. So to say he did something because Jay-Z told him to do it, that I don't know. But all I can tell you is, as a businessman watching another businessman, the way he felt about the situation, I can tell you that everything else couldn't be further from the truth as far as how he felt about the situation. Because everybody's been talking about, man, you ain't talked about Jay Prince. Actuality, I did make this video. It's the second time I'm making it. For no reason whatsoever, everything just shut down. So I got to make it again. So bear with me. Now, Jay Prince put out a message and it went like this: Jay-Z is not a sellout. I've known this brother for years, and being a sellout is something I've never witnessed in all my years I've known him. It's important for us as people to not automatically go into hate mode before getting some overstanding beyond the understanding that you already have. I've interacted with Kaepernick personally and respect the kneel that he took for the cause of injustice. Anybody disrespecting the brother lacks the overstanding of the beginning of a movement. We all know as babies and as adults, we have to crawl before we walk. So to paraphrase Jay-Z, the kneeling was good. Now it's time to walk, and eventually we shall run. I guess to sum this up, all I'm saying is just because, I mean, don't become one of those people who hate out of ignorance or hate just because another brother is prospering. I congratulate the homie Jay-Z and can't wait to witness the work he puts in. Now, that was wonderful. There is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But Jay-Z's former longtime homie, who been knowing him probably the longest of anybody else, came right in there and saw that and could not hesitate but to speak. Negroes co-signing Negroes they don't know? And he was like, yo, homie, how you speaking on knowing a person if you don't know a person? Tell me what you know about this person. Yo, big homie, I have too much respect for you to let you say such words without knowing who I am. Respect. Now, the situation is always taken out of context. Now, people think just because I respect Mr. Prince, which I do, Jay-Z and Jay Prince go back to the Blueprint days. You know, they go back to when Jay in his earlier days of success at Def Jam. They go back to those eras of those days. Back when Benny Siegel and Scarface was making records together, the Brad and Sam and Scarface eventually getting a deal and going over there, and Lil J negotiating, coming over there to get the Def Jam South. And, you know, they was over there doing work together and doing the Guess Who's Back, the Fix over there at Def Jam. And when this happened, Lil J always, you know, was the guy who was standing right beside him. Now, Mr. Prince is a man who deserves respect. And this is no way, shape, or form disrespecting him. Me having my own thoughts and opinions. And I say that to say this. Me and him are just in an impasse when it comes to the decisions that he makes for himself. We're just in a disagreement. That's all. A utter and complete disagreement. Because people confusing one thing with another. Nobody is angry at Jay-Z for doing a deal with the NFL. People don't understand that people are upset about the way he went about doing the deal with the NFL, which makes us distrust him and makes it look disingenuous. If another man was offered the position and you go and talk him out of it just for you to come in and take the same deal that was offered to him, it looked cutthroat. That looks disingenuous, Mr. Prince. And you probably didn't have all the information when you made this decision. You're thinking just off the initialness. Jay talked and spoke with Cap throughout the entire year. This deal took a whole year for them to come and get done with the terms and everything else. They've been working on this deal for a year. 1 year. And he spoke to Cap all during the time they were working on this deal. Speaking to him on the phone and text message, and never once has he mentioned anything about this deal. Now, if you felt the certain way that you felt about it, like this is a step forward, why wouldn't you mention this with Kaepernick? Why wouldn't you bring it up to him? Like, yeah, I'm finna work on this deal. This gonna be great for us. Not one mention, because in his hearts of hearts, he knew what he was doing was low down. It looks disingenuous, especially when you came in off the strength of that other person. You came in behind his strength, wearing his shirt, wearing his hat, going on stage like you were part of his movement. Then you didn't discuss anything with him when you went and did what you did. Like he was somebody you didn't know. So all the Jay-Z apologists, you guys are wrong. Either you are not looking at all the facts, or you're ignoring the reason why people are really upset. So if people are looking at Jay like, it's his track record. He doesn't have a good history of being righteous in these type of situations. All the people that's been speaking out are people who felt like they've been shafted by him in the past. Remember the Brownsville, Brooklyn gentrification, when they brought the Barclays Center to Brooklyn. Remember that. That's very key. That weighs a lot of weight. Don't show me Jay-Z kissing babies and doing the Trayvon Martin situation. He's being there. There's always an angle with this guy. So you got to look at the bigger picture, because he's always looking at the bigger picture. So conformity is always an option with him. And nothing about Jay says he will not fold. He's all about integrity, because empathy is not something we relate to him, period, as a person. We just don't. His raps, nothing about him says anything about empathy. It's always about finance and capital, hustling. And he's a great hustler. Don't get us wrong. He made great music. He's a great hustler, and you can't take that away from him. But Mr. Prince, Jay Prince, Lil J, this was not right. The way he did that was disingenuous. And you probably just didn't have the proper information on it. So hopefully, during this YouTube premiere, you get to see it, and the rest of you guys can go back and watch the video after it premieres. Now, what we will do is continue the movement of trying to let people know and become more aware that we are not going to tolerate the processes of what's going on, and start teaching individuals to be responsible for self. That's the best message to give to someone. You know, they can't be handcuffed out here believing somebody's going to come save them and do something for them standing for a handout. We have to make people self-sufficient. That's what we have to push. That's the narrative. If you're sitting around waiting on the NFL to cut a check for something, then that's gonna help us. Not, it's too far, few and in between. So, with that being said, I'm out. Thank you to all who have donated to the page. Everybody from the Cash App that hit us up. Don't think we don't appreciate it. We appreciate all the love you guys done. You guys are what keeps us moving. You know, definitely Rolling Thunder rolled through. Truthfulness, Lucas Scott, Mr. Roach, Mr. Blackman, Jamal Johnson, Harold, Buddha Black, of course, Charleston Wallace, Mr. Hogan's, Garrett McCoy, Brian Johnson, Jason, nah, not you, Jason, Keenan Naper, Princewell, Michelle's daughter, Charles Terrell, Michael Michael Hines, Aaron Wallace, 215, Timothy, Mr. Brand, Richie, Daryl Johnson, Tim, Isaac Romero. A lot of you guys out here to name. Chase, I will allude. Precious Gills, what's up? Thank you. And you too, Lance Howard and Mr. Graham. And the Cash App name is, of course, Carcino. Or you can click the link in the Streamlab and donate there. Thank you.